Garbage.
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome on into the Put It in the Book show, Spring Training 2025, episode number 3. Band is back together. Farace here. Got Jose Reyes days left until opening day. Let's move it along. Mr. Keith. Jeff McGough. Hey,
Jeff McNeil.
Is Jeff McNeil going to be in the new Happy Gilmore movie? He should be. No?
I think so. He's got an amazing swing. I know some people personally, I won't name their names, they would love to watch Jeff play golf. He travels to the courses where he plays here in Florida and just watches them. And he's, enchanted.
The way you just said Florida, you said Florida like a Florida guy. You're a Florida man. Yeah, Florida.
Oh, I was on a call.
As opposed to the way that it's supposed to be said in the English dictionary, Florida. Boom. I fixed it.
It's Mr. Florida. Punctuation. Mr. Know-It-All.
I'm
glad to be back with Mr. Know-It-All.
Mr. Rodriguez making his triumphant return from the IL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, I took care of my oblique. I've taken the torn rotator cuff. I'm good. Tommy John. My golf swing is not hurting me. McNeil, I love to watch you go play golf. Just don't play for the Mets anymore then. Fine. Give it up for Acuña, you freaking golfer. Why you got to start already? I'm just trying to come back in a pleasant state of mind. The first thing you say to me is McNeil. That's the first thing you say.
And I put that name there to rally you up because we need an energetic Rodriguez today.
You got one, man, especially after he pisses me off. He has an oblique injury. I wonder why, from swinging too many golf clubs, and then the next day he's at a golf tournament watching them play, or he's at Top Golf watching them play. Dude, stop. Just stop.
Let's get a blood pressure cuff on Rodriguez early on here.
It's pretty high already. I came in high.
3 minutes into the show, furious at Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McGough.
Jeff McGough.
Jeff McGough.
All right, and then of course,
is he still there?
He was under some rubble last week, but I think he's back where he needs to be. Mr. Producer Joe, we got him back there. Yes.
Is he?
Yeah, I just heard a little bit of knocking.
I hear like rats scurrying about back there. So I don't know.
He's whining about.
What's he whining about?
I don't know. I didn't make out the last part.
What's he not whining about?
That's there. Like, is he able to take a shit, or is it just go in a bucket or something?
Rodriguez.
He goes outside in the grass. He goes outside in the grass. Okay. So he goes under the vent. You should see the hole in that vent, man. It's huge, massive. Terrible. He goes and he fertilizes all the grass. Pretty good.
Hey, what more can you ask for?
Joe. You
all right.
So from him.
That's true, but the expectations, you got to keep the expectations.
Stock Mets, man, let's go.
That's exactly. Let's do it.
I'm
back
ready to
in
play
action.
The game.
We're gonna. Right. We are gonna get into some Mets talk right after this, but we're gonna talk spring training stuff, some injury stuff, a little bit of culture.
Don't forget the giveaway. Don't forget the promo we have for next week.
Is that
Don't forget it.
Does that come with Producer Joe or no?
It always comes with Producer Joe.
All right. Producer Joe, get us started here. Let's do it.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
You gotta say something.
Oh, shit.
Put up the bullets!
All right, people, welcome back in. Mets Talk, the Put in the Book Show, spring training episode number 3 for 2025. Let's start off with a little bit of the injury news, but the good kind. Sean Manaea progressing along nicely. Now throwing at 90 feet already.
Sean who?
Manaea.
Manaea.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Excellent. All right.
Manaea amazing.
Menaeas. All right. So he's coming along nicely, throwing at 90 feet, pain free. Rodriguez, we didn't get your take on this, but obviously he went down with a fairly mild oblique situation.
An oblique.
But back on track, now looking at that mid-April return, and really might not make us have to go out and grab another starter from the minors to start the year because of off days. But so all that, what's your take on the Manaea situation? What am I supposed to call him?
Manaea.
Sorry,
that's it.
I could do it.
Manaea.
All right. So what's your whole take on that, and how do you think he's going to be able to handle this little injury thing?
Oh, obviously he's handling it well because he's back, right? He's back pretty fast, and he's projected to come back mid-April. Ooh, did I just jinx ourselves? Ooh. I meant mid-April, or probably end of April, or like usual All-Star break. Let's not fake it. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be a recurring issue, and he's not going to be fine until the All-Star break. However, our super duper pitching coach has done a real good job with him. They've helped him.
That's a turnaround, everybody.
I never thought I was going to say this, and I've been saying it slowly last year. You guys know I've been giving him his compliments, his props, because he does deserve them. He's got something good going on here. These guys, these retreads, these basic minor leaguers are coming up and playing and pitching well and doing their job. So you got to give Hefner, the Hef. I guess you want to call him the Hef. You want to call him the Hef? It's up to you. Call him the Hef, but he's doing a good job. And that Manaea guy, man, he turned everything around like Chris Sale. So he was a good pitcher when he came up with Oakland. Let's not forget that he was a pretty good pitcher, and he was, on his way up. And something happened, and he went with the Giants. And next thing you know, he's crap. But he's back with the Mets. He's changed his pitching angle. Hopefully the oblique is gone, and we're ready to have ourselves a mid-level number 2, occasional ace on the staff. So I'm happy. I don't like the oblique injury. I think it's ridiculous that you come in and next thing you know, you're hurt in spring training. I mean, the whole point is to warm up and be ready for the season, not to get hurt for the season. But, that's how these guys are nowadays. A little soft. But Manaea.
Well, as Keith Hernandez says, he never worked out his oblique, so he never had an oblique injury. Never did a crunch in his life.
You're playing baseball. You're not working out to be a bodybuilder. Just leave your obliques alone, dude. Just pitch.
Gotta have a strong core.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Not too strong.
Stop planking.
What's wrong with planking?
Planking.
I don't plank. I'm not a planker. Producer Joe.
I would have been against that. I would have been against you being a flanker.
No. So if I can say something about Manaea amazing,
yes,
and I'm gonna mention another pitcher, but it's gonna circle back. I promise. Let's talk about Severino for a second, right? Severino had made a comment recently in the newspaper that the Yankees staff is really good, but the Mets are just next level when it comes to coaching and training and everything else. Why'd you do that? Because I said Yankees. Right. So he made that comment. So
I totally missed that.
To Manaea amazing. They pulled him out, and they worked on him. They're getting him back to speed. I truly think that the old Mets or the program we had in the past or pasts would have really screwed this up. He wouldn't be coming back so quick. He's going to just lose a handful of starts, and at the end of the season, if we're in contention, it may benefit us because he won't tire, because he kind of tired last year when we started.
Yeah, because he wasn't used to that innings log.
Yeah, he's not used to pitching that much. So this may actually end up benefiting us if you want to look at it in a positive note. Our staff, coaching staff, training staff, it's so refreshing compared to what we're used to dealing with the lies and the hidden truths, which is also a lie. So I think I just said the same thing twice.
I think so.
And the way they handled the players and they handled the injuries, it was a mess. So I just want to Rodriguez's point, give kudos to the medical staff and the coaching staff and the physical trainers for really keeping Manaea Amazing in shape through this oblique injury.
No, oblique
injury. Again, I don't understand how this oblique thing has become such a thing. Obviously, and hopefully our coaching staff and physical training staff and so on takes a look at that and how they're lifting and working out.
Pete, the same way they preach that throw as hard as you can every single pitch. That's the reason why the oblique injuries are prevalent now, because they're just overtraining. They're overthrowing and they're overtraining.
Golf too. I mean, like, what's going on there? So
overtraining, overswinging,
overdoing it.
Like,
you know,
like that.
I think I have a lot of faith and confidence over the last year, 2 years even, with this new staff that Cohen and his team has put together that helps the players and stuff. And I know I heard Lindor talking about they put them on eating plans and all this other kind of stuff. So, you know, I think all that is really important. I think Manaea is going to be good. And I'm really looking forward to him coming back and doing a full year of the transition he made mid-year last year after watching Chris Sale pitch.
Right. Yeah. Hell of an adjustment. Whatever he picked up there. Thank you, Chris Sale, and I hope you fail miserably this year.
Yes.
Just real quick, I just checked the score on the Mets spring training game against the Nationals. They're up 10-1. But more important, Senga has lowered his spring ERA down to 2.08. He's pitching well. He's healthy. That's a huge sign for us.
What do you call it? The magical pitch, miracle pitch?
Yeah. Well,
the 65 mile an hour curveball or something?
Yeah.
Did he try a fork, a knuckleball or something, or?
I don't know if it was a straight curve but it was 60 whatever miles an hour.
That's my pitch. That's my pitch.
So that's a good sign. And then obviously you got your Tylors and you got your Petersons, who Peterson obviously stepped up huge last year. Rodriguez, anything that you've seen out of him this spring to lead you to believe that's going to continue?
Yeah, dude, he's aggressive. He's staying as an aggressive pitcher, and that's, to be honest, to be successful in the major leagues, you have to be aggressive. You can't pitch scared. You have to come after guys because they don't know where you're gonna throw it. Your job is to fool them, and if you fool them aggressively, meaning that come inside on them, get them off the plate, then go outside with something slow, but stay around the plate. Don't automatically give them balls every single time. Peterson, don't give these guys your balls every single time. That's something you don't want to do. Keep them to yourself. Hold on to them for some, every once in a while. There he is. See? And when you pitch aggressive, sometimes the ball lets loose and you hit somebody in the head. Somebody like that guy that was just making faces. You hit him in the stand, right in the freaking head.
And that's what happens.
And that's what happens. Things like that happen. But stay aggressive. Stay in the strike zone. Trust your stuff. And if they're gonna hit you, they're gonna hit you, but they're gonna hit you when you're trying to get them out, not when you're being a scared coward. And I've said it many times during this show. Don't pitch like a coward and pitch aggressive, even if your stuff stinks. What about that guy Griffin? What's that redheaded guy that we got now? What is it? Canning?
Griffin Canning.
Yeah, whatever he does, he really doesn't throw that hard for today's game, but he's aggressive and he moves the ball around in the strike zone, and he's a little quirky when he throws. He has that little weird little stance.
He had the worst ERA and he started last year.
Yeah. So imagine.
But now we have real. He's got real coaches.
I'm gonna mention a name nobody wants to hear, but let's remember Greg Maddux. He wasn't good at first, and then he became one of the best pitchers in all-time baseball and never threw hard.
Stupid.
Well, he threw very hard when he first came up, and he was pretty decent, but then he couldn't throw hard anymore. So he had to become a pitcher after that, and that's when he became great. When he actually became a pitcher.
Right.
So
when he became great? You know when he became great? When the umpires started giving him that outside call, Glavin outside call.
No.
Speaking of giving calls, did you guys hear about Dykstra paying off?
Sorry,
the two-seamer that would slide in 3 inches off the plate.
I'm a Metsy, but I'm a Metsy, through and through. But that guy was a great pitcher and a smart pitcher, and he knew how to set people up, even if he set them up 3 months later. He was a great pitcher.
Did you hear about Dykstra paying investigators to research umpires?
Yes.
What? Say that again?
I'll send you a link.
He would hire PIs.
And I don't want to get into this because this is a Met show and he's a piece of shit. But basically what he did is he paid private investigators to follow all around the country, follow around umpires. And then when he would step in the plate and they would call a strike on him, he'd step back and he would mention something that umpire probably don't want people to hear, like their gambling habits, their hooker habits. And then his own words. And then he said, then the strike zone went like this. That's exactly what he said. And
you mean the steroids wasn't enough?
It wasn't just the steroids.
Yeah, this just happened in the last, I guess, few days, right, Farace?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'll find the combo. I'll drop it in our group chat.
All he was missing was the garbage can. Get the steroids.
That's all he needs. Steroids. Wow.
I'll be honest. That's disappointing on many, many levels, right? Yeah, from the integrity of baseball, the umpires. There's no proof other than him saying it, but you kind of have to think it probably really happened back in those days. But it makes me like Dykstra even less.
What would you do if the guy tells you that, you're Rob Palermo? Hey, Palermo, we saw you, getting jousted the other day by Barry Bonds.
This is a whole other subject. Okay. Probably for a show not called to Put It in a Book show, but just to make it quick, it's also why I don't like steroid era. It ruins to me the integrity and the pureness of baseball. But moving on from there.
Show.
All right, and then back end is the back end with guys like Paul Blackburn, who. With that spinal fluid leak last year, right after we got him.
Spinal bifida.
What is that? Who gets that? What's wrong with the Mets spines? David Wright, little stenosis. This guy.
Don't bring him.
Don't start Rodriguez. Don't Rodriguez. You'd be nice to our captain.
Dude, listen, I saw him the other day. He looked great. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. He wants to be in the lineup. He wants to bat second.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Does he need the money? Whose spot is he going to take now? Acuña's or Baty's? He's going to go somebody's spot again and not let them be. Anyway, see, what I'm saying is I saw him the other day. He looked great. It's really nice to see him. He's a Met through and through, and he loves our team, and he always says good things. I love our captain. Fantastic. No, there should not be any other captain but Captain David Wright.
So you don't think Lindor should be a captain?
But I'll tell you that redheaded guy that's playing in Japan now is probably pretty mad about it.
Justin Turner,
right?
No, where did he?
Justin Turner.
Where did he go?
Yeah. Isn't he in Japan or Mexico? Cubs. Oh, you went to the Cubs?
Yeah, I think he signed with the Cubs. Late edition.
I thought I saw him in Japan with two little Japanese kids with beards taking pictures.
Probably because they had that series over there, Cubs and Dodgers.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's why. Talking about
fake opening day.
Ruben Tejada?
Yeah. Mr. Tanada.
You met him.
All right. I did, and he even I took a picture. Was that Lagares? No, he posted me. He stopped and smiled.
Did you delete it?
Should I? I got a picture of Tebow too. All right. Next up, listen. The Knicks are playing well. Jalen Brown. Oh, sorry. wrong.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sorry, wrong show notes. All right. Let's get to another bit of injury news. What got Rodriguez all riled up at the very beginning of the show. Jeff McNeil is going to start his season on the IL. Jeff McGolf is going to start his season on the IL. And so obviously that means he's gone for the time being. But you got Baty and Acuña who are going to kind of platoon here. You'll see this later on, but Baty made a nice turn on a double play just a little bit earlier on a throw from Lindor. He seems to be getting really comfortable there at second base, and he's hitting so far this spring. We'll start with Keith on this one. What do you think the right move here is? Baty getting his last big opportunity, maybe, or platooning, getting Baty and then Acuña out there, depending on who's pitching.
This is a really hard question, right? Because I think as a hitter, Baty might be more ready, but he's gaining that reputation, kind of like Dom Smith, where he's an infamous minor league spring training great, right? So do we give him another chance in regular season? Or do we take somebody who came up in the pinch, pulled through for us, and as a player has many more tools than Baty? And I'm sure you see where I'm going with my opinion on this. I think Acuña has a lot more tools, potential, like as a power hitter and stuff like that. Baty's probably a little higher, but Acuña's a base stealer. I think Acuña takes advantage better of situations that are presented to him by the other team. I think Acuña came in when Lindor was down and played shortstop to the point where, of course, we're always going to miss Lindor, but to the point where we weren't feeling like there's a big gap defensively at shortstop because Lindor is down. And for those reasons, and probably more if the show is a lot longer, I think Acuña should get the shot, but he's not winning from a spring training competition position. If you look at spring training stats right now, Baty is the favorite. So, we'll see where the Mets goes and where Mendy picks. He goes with the guy who did really good in winter ball, did really good to replace Lindor when he was down for a little bit last year and has more tools, or he goes with Baty, who is doing better in spring training and has more power potential. They both have options, right? So let's see. For me, if I had the choice, it would be Acuña.
And I'm just looking at, because everybody's getting hits tonight. Mets have 11 hits through 4, but Baty is at 341 currently. OPS over 1,000. That shows where the pop is coming from. Acuña is at 282. He's not having a bad spring, but his pop is kind of cut in half, 625. Rodriguez, what's your thought on this?
Well, you gotta try to even look at the bigger picture of this. When you have a guy like Acuña who can play multiple positions and even the outfield, okay, he's a young guy and he needs some experience at the major league level. The Mets are willing to give him that right now because McNeil is hurt. Also, Baty has been playing very well, and he's a big bat, a good kid, good solid hitter, and can play a couple of infield positions. Young guy, they're both young, 24, 23 years old, both either one or two of them, whatever they are. And then you also have the bigger picture. You got a guy like Marte, who the Mets want to showcase. They want to make sure that he can still play a little bit, probably get rid of him, bring something back and return a pitcher because he's in the last year of a contract. So once Marte is gone, that opens up a slot for either Baty or Acuña to stay there for the whole year. Anything could happen. Anyone can get hurt. You got Winker. You don't have a super duper DH on this team.
Right.
You don't have a guy that's a 35 home run, 100 RBI guy. So you can have these kids come in and play, and you can rest the other guys. You can rest Lindor with Acuña. You can rest Vientos. You can rest all these guys and just give them playing time. So it's a whole team thing, and no team is made up of 25 superstars. So there's your set 3 or 4 or 5 superstars on a team nowadays, and you got your other guys that are role players or just decent players. So whether Baty makes it as a major leaguer or Acuña makes it a major league, or they both make it, they don't have to be superstars. They just have to be serviceable players and fit the team concept of whatever the Mets are going for that time, whether it's speed, whether it's defense, whether it's power. And they all seem to have it, and they're very young. So they still have a couple of years, maybe 3 years to grow. Vientos still needs to grow. These young guys haven't really proven that much. I know we're so high on them, but Vientos has had one good major league year. So, and we have some veterans, but you got to give these guys a chance to play. And with the new regime that we have, they're getting that. So hopefully we'll be patient and they'll produce for us.
I was laughing when you said give Lindor some rest, because they asked him that specifically. They said, with the depth on this team, you might be able to get a couple more days off. And his response was I think MLB does a good job of putting off days on the schedule.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. That's what you want to hear from your superstar, right?
Exactly.
That's exactly what you want. If he doesn't want to get rest, that's even better. Sit him down anyway.
And he also, in addition to that, said, I'll just eat better and sleep more. I'll be fine.
There you go. There you go. That's what I would say. Don't take me out of the lineup, coach. I'm playing every day if I can. And
don't forget, like Rodriguez, that you brought up that point of Acuña being able to play multiple positions. He played 40 some odd games in the outfield last year in the minor leagues, and you mentioned a Winker and these guys, but also talk about Jose Siri, who's not he's not brilliant.
Not bona fide yet. He's not bona fide yet. He
very good center fielder.
He can't hit. He can't hit for average.
Right.
So if they work on that and get him to be a hitter for average, then you're looking at a guy who could possibly be an all-star, because he has the pop, the defense. He just needs to hit for average. You also have a guy that's getting hurt again. Okay, playing left field and he's playing right field, wherever he's playing. But a left fielder with a bad toe and a bad neck and a bad oblique or something, whatever the hell he has.
Wait, what happened now? It's just the foot, right?
I don't trust him.
Which is good. I think it's good for now.
It's good for now.
I mean, I've been watching him hit and run and everything. He looks really good. But I think also that's why having Marte is really important. I think Marte can be a really good DH/substitute outfielder. I know you're saying he's not like what who was the guy was it Baltimore or Texas? And they got caught using steroids. He was a DH and he had like 80 million home runs. He broke a record. Anyway.
Brady Anderson? You're talking about Brady Anderson?
I think DH these days is not quite like it was in the old days, right? Because when we think DH and we think all this, just an old guy who hits 50 home runs, we're really referring to the steroid era. I think a DH these days is just a solid hitter who can get on base. And I think Marte can do that. Marte was a bit of a stiff, and I know he was injured, but he was a bit of a stiff in right field last year. If we can transition him to our main DH, I think he'd do good. And he can substitute and switch out with Winker to give people like the plantar fasciitis guy a rest every once in a while. Mr. Happy Baseball Nimmo.
I love Nimmo. He's great, man. But he's injury prone. He really is. He's injury prone. History says it.
He puts his body in the way just to get an out in the outfield.
Dude, he had the whole off season to resolve this plantar fasciitis thing. And what was he doing? Wanking it over there in Omaha or wherever he's from in Colorado. Why is he going to come to spring training?
Wyoming, isn't it? Wait, but Eli Manning had that for like 4 years.
Yeah, and did he miss games?
No, Nimmo didn't miss games. He played through in the playoffs.
Nimmo can't even play in spring training already. He's already missing games.
No,
last year he missed games. Didn't he miss games last year?
I used to do construction. I worked on ladders a lot, and it gave me plantar fasciitis, like just from the way you stand on the ladder and everything.
He played 151 games last year.
No one's paying.
3 years in a row. I'm pushing back.
He didn't play 162. He missed 11. He
3 years in a row. 151, 152,
he missed 11 games, dude. He missed 11 games.
Yeah,
okay? You should give that money back. That's all
I'm saying. Almost 700 plate appearances in all 3 seasons.
You have to keep it warm. If you don't keep it warm, it hurts more. And what I mean by keeping it warm is on your feet, moving around. Once you sit, you rest, and you don't do anything, it swells and it really
Producer
hurts.
Joe should be that person who keeps Nimmo's foot warm.
I mean, he's into
around
stuff,
rubbing it.
I don't want to talk about that. That's weird.
All right. Yeah, that's a nice bunch of games the last 4 years. The 2021, he played 92 games. These are all three very, very good. All right. Poor Nimmo.
Listen, playing 150 games where you come in and you play 5 innings and 6 innings and you're out, or you're not playing at 100%, it's not the same as playing at 100%. You want to be healthy. You want to be able to play the game. And if you come in and you're not good in the outfield, or you can't run, or you can't steal bases, or you can't do this, you can't do that, okay, you appeared in 151 games. How effective
700 plate appearances.
That doesn't. How many hits did he get? 100, 110.
Last year he had a lower batting average. He had 128 hits. The year before, 162.
128 hits out of 700 at bats.
No, I didn't say at bats. Those are plate appearances. 571 at bats. So he batted 224. I mean, he had a low batting average last year.
Okay, so that sucks.
He was terrible.
He was clutch though. He was clutch last year.
23 bombs, 90 RBI. He's awful.
That's great. That's good for him. That's his top. That's his top though. That's as good as he's gonna get. And if his average starts to go down, then next thing you know, he's gonna be batting 198.
Career high in RBI last year, 90 RBI.
That's the best he's gonna get. Yeah.
15 stolen bases on that busted right foot. Career high.
He should do better.
He has in his previous 8 years, he had 26 stolen bases. Last year, 15.
How many did Lindor have stolen bases?
He might have had diarrhea. Who knows why he was running so fast?
Yeah,
you don't know. You're saying you're giving him so much credit. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom. He needed to get in the dugout.
I'm giving him the appropriate amount of credit, I think.
No, you're not giving him any credit. He had 23 home runs and 100 RBIs. Farace, what's wrong with you?
I think Farace gave him proper credit.
Anyway.
23 home runs, 90 RBIs, even though the batting average is in the 220s, which is obviously not desirable or makes anybody happy.
Right? Farace starts to pick on this guy for no reason, like for that.
Why are you picking on him, Farace? No, but he produced, and that's the truth. So it's different with like Pete. Everybody bitches about Pete because he did not live up to the expectation that he set with his own performance. But truthfully, his performance last year was still compare him to the rest of Major League Baseball at first base.
Cheers, Nimmo. Yeah, 34 home runs is not bad, Farace. Though why are you saying Alonso can't play?
Yeah, what's wrong with you, Farace?
You want to trade him already?
Those are the exact words.
A long time ago.
What's wrong with you?
Give him a break.
You heard I know Keith always paying attention to the show. He knows exactly what I said.
I am. I'm paying. I'm astute.
All right. Last thing on what seems like 20 minutes ago that we started on McNeil.
Still talking about McNeil?
No, I want one last question just to close that out.
Absolutely.
Baty or Acuña, they're tearing it up. Does McNeil just automatically get his job back, Rodriguez, or do you think if Baty's sizzling hot, do you remove him and pop McNeil back at second base?
Absolutely not.
Excellent.
Absolutely not.
Keith, you agree? I'm with you, Rodriguez.
It depends how hot. Because if Acuña is like,
he's a pretty handsome guy.
That was my pick. If Acuña,
that's so weird.
The cover off the ball, then you have to think about it. But I still think that once McNeil is ready, it's his job to lose again.
Not in baseball.
You're saying he shouldn't lose his job due to an injury, even though
correct.
I'm just messing with you on it. Even though he's a golfer.
Jeff McNeil should still have the chance after injury to come back and lose his job again.
And he can have it with another team. As soon as he comes back, if he's tradable, he goes to another team. Or he plays left field. He could play left field because Nimmo's going to be out by then anyway.
Listen, Rodriguez, if it's Baty or it's Acuña, doesn't matter. If they're just tearing the ball off the cover and that's the Mets' decision, I also would not be upset with that. I'm just giving you my opinion that it's his job to come back to and then lose again
You wouldn't be upset with it, but you're saying he should have his job back. So which one do you want?
I'm saying he should have his job back, but if the Mets made a decision that I didn't agree with, I wouldn't be upset over it. I mean, I thought I was clear on that.
Terzio says, like to know why the Mets went out and got a second baseman for the Chicago Cubs.
Whoa!
Wow!
Sorry, Chicago. My bad, Chicago.
Thinking of producer Joe again, aren't you? Damn.
Alexandra Canario, who Terzio says is not a spring chicken. However, he is 24 years old, and I'm sure that we would all like to be 24 again. What do you mean not spring chicken?
How old is Terzio?
That's
99.
Age. And so he's saying, well, obviously, you got hurt. You can't tell this stuff, but Jose Iglesias is a Padre now. Got to move on. We'll always have an OMG.
Respect, right? Man. Respect, Jose.
Candelita.
Bam. What? All right. Yeah. Producer Joe, what?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
You know what, Terzio, you're right. Screw this Cubs guy. Let's threaten somebody in the Padres to release Iglesias so we could sign him back. Producer Joe, you convinced me.
That was a moment last year. I mean, it was part of that big turn in
the concert that happened at Citi Field.
Yeah, that was a moment. It was special.
It was great. It was great. That already happened. Move on.
Yeah, and the big thing about that is Jose Iglesias was excellent for us last year, both in the chemistry department, the dugout, even at the plate. We all probably thought that he was just going to fall off, and he never really did. But when you look at it, he was about to retire before we picked him up. He had never hit that well ever, and the likelihood, in a business decision, the likelihood of him repeating himself on the field was not very high, and that's why he was a free agent for so long and wanted a major league deal, but accepted a minor league deal.
There's a reason he took a minor league deal. The reason he could only get a minor league deal. So, I mean, let's be realistic. We Met fans, we love these guys to death, and they become Met heroes. But let's be real. If he comes back and he's playing and he's at the major league and he comes back and he beats us in 6 games or whatever, or beats us in the playoffs, you're not gonna love him that much anymore. That oh my God thing's gonna go out the window. You're gonna want to kick his ass.
Remember,
the language. No, true. You're absolutely right.
You remember the game that Piazza came back as a Padre. Also
He
Padre.
hit 2 home runs.
He hit the first home run, got a nice ovation. Second home run, nah, bro, get out.
See,
and that's Mike Piazza.
That's Mike Piazza.
Second home run, we all booed him. We stood up and booed him.
We heard it to the TV.
Okay, so there you go.
But it kind of with Candelita, Iglesias, it goes back to what I was just saying about McNeil. It's like my feelings are one thing, but I trust in the Mets management at this point to do what's right. It scares me, especially our GM, VP, whatever he is, his approach towards pitching. It scares me right now. But after last year, I have no choice but to trust. So,
well, don't be scared, Keith, because he's trying to bring up the minor leagues. Think about what he's doing with the minor leagues. I think we got some good minor league pitchers, and he's saving some money. He's going to bring the young guys up and use pitching that way. So he'll be okay.
Yeah, he earned his trust last year.
Mm-hmm.
He really did.
And he's a Mets fan, so he's really trying hard to do what's right with the Mets.
Yeah.
Unlike Farace.
Whoa.
Well, no, Farace's a Dodger fan, and he became a Met fan because he realized at a certain age that the Dodgers left, but you are who you are from birth.
You're saying I was there back in the 50s when.
No, because you were in Brooklyn. You think you're a Charlie Dodger. This is going nowhere. Man. Let's move on.
All right. Opening day starter.
I'm glad you admitted it.
I tried.
Mr. Clay Holmes, former crosstown dude, former closer. is now going to start opening day for the Metropolitans. He's pitched well this spring, getting stretched out nicely, and we're giving him the opportunity that he didn't get elsewhere. And for all those douchebags out there that want to point out that he had all these blown saves last year, watch those blown saves and watch that skank defense behind him, because they let him down time after time after time again. And now he's opening day starter for the Mets. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what you said, Keith, about, our guys' pitching philosophy and maybe not signing upper tier guys to long-term contracts. So we'll see what goes on here with Clay Holmes. Rodriguez, our pitching guru. What do you see out of him? You think he can be a bona fide, not bona fide number one, but a bona fide starter in the rotation?
Hasn't he earned it? I mean, he's pitched well in spring training. All you have to do is pitch well in spring training, do your job, and you get your shot. Now it's his chance to get his shot. He only has to pitch 5 innings in today's game anyway. So, if he does 5 solid innings and they bring in guys, they're going to keep throwing him out there. He builds up his pitch count. He gets up to 80, 90, 100. If he's up to 100 pitches, then he's a 7-inning pitcher, in this league right now. And 7 innings, pretty good. And if he can keep his ERA to 3, maybe 4, he's a very valuable pitcher in today's game. Every pitcher should want to be like Clay Holmes. Everyone who's out there right now throwing 2 innings, 3 innings, or being a reliever or being a closer should want to be a Clay Holmes. They should want to take the ball every 5th day or 6th day now and pitch 7 innings and be instrumental in helping your team win and be productive. You should want to be Clay Holmes. And if he can do the job, which he seems to be doing in spring training, realistically, let him have it. Let him do it. At the end of the day, if anything happens, we have a closer. We have a secondary closer.
Right.
Let's be real. If anything happens to Edwin, to Diaz, God forbid, and we have a guy right there that, you could take him out of the rotation and say, listen, just like they did with the guy from the Braves, John, what's his name?
Smoltz.
John Smoltz. He became a reliever for a few years, was excellent, came back to being a starter. If you're a pitcher and you know how to pitch, you can do the job. So again, like we have multiple guys that can play multiple positions. You want to have pitchers that can pitch in multiple situations, and Clay Holmes can do it.
And so really switching gears just slightly, Rodriguez, you mentioned, 4 ERA. Keith, my man, even with Megill out, this lineup with any amount of even a 4.50 ERA from our starting pitching, this lineup is just incredibly stacked from top to bottom, so we can withstand that stuff. So the GM, with that mentality, he's built that lineup. That lineup has really, really no holes in it. If you want to say the catcher, what's his name again? Got 3 hits tonight. Torrens. Thank you so much, Rodriguez. Torrens, with Alvarez out with the hamate bone breakage. But Keith, to both Rodriguez and your point on 2 different topics, this lineup is built even if these guys struggle, the starting staff, this lineup is built to withstand that type of thing.
Yeah, I think every lineup in baseball, you're gonna have questions. Even if you're the Dodgers, you're gonna say, well, if this one's out, what do we do? I mean, we can do that all day, right? But that's meaningless. You're not going to go anywhere with those kind of worries. This lineup we have right now, let's look at our top 4. Okay, let's look at our number 1 hitter is going to be Francisco Lindor, who has
batting 167 in the spring. Should probably release him now.
I hope you don't have a slow start.
Is he getting the shit out of his system? I'm going to get upset right now. Just get it out of the system. Go get your fucking MVP this year. Because if you would have had a nice start to the season, you would have had your fucking MVP. No matter what that asshole in the West Coast Dodgers. I'm a DH. I don't even pitch anymore. I'm not doing shit out in the field. You see the plays Lindor makes in the field? Unbelievable that he got robbed of that MVP award. Sorry.
he's going to pitch this year, so let's see what happens, right? But that's our number one hitter, Francisco Lindor. Then you got Juan Soto, arguably one of the best, if not the best, hitter in baseball right now.
The best hitter ever.
Behind him, you have Alonso. If Alonso has another 40 home run season, Jose is going to see even more pitches. And then you got Vientos, the kid wonder that came out of nowhere last year from coming up. He was sent down, he was brought up, and he went through all this turmoil, and he just stepped up.
We thought he sucked at third base because that's what we were told.
You know, and he was amazing. And then behind him, you have who? Nimmo, or most likely Nimmo, who can get on base. You know, he had an off year last year. We'll give him that. But
still, about all these guys are going to be on base.
Right. He's a great hitter. And behind him, who do you have? Our DH, right? Probably, most likely. And who's going to be our DH? Winker or Marte? Now, I'm just going to stop there because after that is like Torrens and maybe Alvarez when he comes back and so on. But
Baty.
Let's go back through our Mets history, right? I mean, for me, I've been a Met fan long enough. I know Rodriguez, you even longer, and Farace comparable, but probably like 10 years shorter because you're just a kid. But the truth is, we've never had a lineup this solid, consistent, and I don't know what word to use, organic. I mean, it just flows. You have dangerous hitters throughout. Even the guy who hit 220 last year, his name is Nimmo, he's dangerous because he'll get on base or he'll slap a base hit. And even though he hit 220 last year, he was extremely clutch. Don't forget
that hit right before Pete with the bomb in the wildcard game.
Right. And, you know, people dismiss that. But truthfully, being clutch is a talent in itself. In baseball, people fold. Then there's other players who step up when they have the pressure on. And Nimmo, to me, is one of those players. So I think that this lineup, to your point and what we were saying before, it is truly going to be amazing. I think we're going to beat, was it the 2006 Mets? 2000 Mets? The most runs scored ever in Mets history. I think it was like 750 or 748, something silly like that. I think we can beat that. I think we can have at least 4 to 5 guys that are at 100 RBIs or more on this lineup. I'm excited.
Well,
can't wait.
Your top 4 fully capable of hitting 30 or more. 2 of the top 4 capable of hitting 40 or more. And then the guys behind, 25 or, right around there.
Get ready for a lot of 7th and 8th inning mashing when the bullpen comes in this year, Met fans, because it's going to be off the hook. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to spend 6 innings kicking yourself, whining and crying, and then they're going to bring in their bullpen. And that lineup is going to destroy that bullpen.
We're going to be 6 runs ahead every game.
Win a lot of late inning games this year. It's just, I mean, 2024 was probably one of the most exciting years of my lifetime. I think this year is going to match that or exceed it.
It was huge, massive, especially since the sports talk guys in New York wanted the Mets to trade everybody in May. Rodriguez last week, we talked about
that will happen again this year. Don't worry about it. Listen to the fan. By the end of April, we suck and everybody needs to go away. Yeah, it'll happen.
Rodriguez, we were throwing around some catchers' names last week just in case we needed a catcher to bring in. And producer Joe mentioned McCann as a viable option. To come in because he did a good job with us last time, and he deserves a second shot in Queens. I tried. James McCann is not coming back. I don't think he's going to get a job.
He signed already with somebody, didn't he?
No, he didn't. Did he? Who? Yeah. What are we doing?
He's playing left out for the Kansas City Royals.
You're good, you. All right, and Tomas Nido, didn't he retire? Did he retire or not? We're done. Listen, we can't. How many times we're gonna get back with the X?
I mean, who cares?
Yeah, we're just waiting for the bone.
Balding middle-aged X. Who wants that?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Huh? No, nobody wants that.
Absolutely.
All right. Want to close us out here on a topic that Rodriguez brought up. And I'm just kind of like thinking through this. I just watched the ESPN 30 for 30 the other day again for the 700th time.
Didn't it do 20 for 30 or some bullshit? They changed it. 30 for 20. 30 clubs in 20 days.
No. The 30 for 30 is the documentaries that ESPN does, but you're talking about the MLB network that goes around to all the different.
I have to check it. All right.
Two totally different things. But yeah, so on ESPN, I mean, it's the whole 86 World Series where they talk about the playing stuff and all that stuff. We never talked about it on the show, but it was a few years ago. But so culture-wise, obviously we had a shitty ass culture from the former owners, right? And we were promised a culture change when Steve Cohen bought the team, and shit, we're getting it.
We got it.
You got a great mix of the free agents, the big stars, and then you got the young kids coming up.
Can we quickly? I'm sorry, Farace. I apologize there. Can we quickly put up?
Sorry for the middle of my sentence interrupting the start of yours.
Yeah,
I think Teresa's comment before we get too much into the next subject about the kayak needs to be presented real quick because I think that's pretty good.
They're both on a kayak.
Yes, he said McCann and Nito are both on a kayak.
Ovechkin scored a goal tonight. This is a baseball show, Terzio. How many more does he have to break the record? But so the chemistry thing. So obviously we went through. We've had our great years, 2006, and where the chemistry of the team was great. We're talking about the chemistry of the organization at this point. So, in my view, in my memory, this is the best coming together of the culture, from top to bottom of the organization. 86 was amazing. Obviously, the culture was cocaine and fun and beating the shit out of teams.
Hey!
Right? And it worked.
Don't talk bad about cocaine.
No, it would never.
Okay.
I'm going to party like it's 1986. You know what that means?
You don't know what that means. I know.
So is it Frank Cashin in that documentary? Sorry, just as one point where they were talking about where everybody sat on the plane, and I think it's Bobby Ojeda said all the nerds sat in the front, and then when they cut to Frank Cashin, he's like, I typically rode in the front of the plane. So that's the nerd there. They kicked Davey Johnson out of going to the back with all the poker guys. But anyway, that's a different type of culture. What Rodriguez brought up was culture in its entirety of the organization. So the building of it from the bottom up, the bringing in the top talent like a Juan Soto and a Francisco Lindor, those type of guys. And then bring it. You got your Pete Alonso, you got your Nimmo, still the homegrown. Now you've got Acuña and all these guys. You've made these trades to get rid of these washed ass old Verlanders and the Scherzers, and you've brought back top tier talent from a 41-year-old washed up guy who's I don't even know where these guys are pitching. One's in Toronto, one is in San Francisco. But my point is that the ownership is doing whatever it takes to build the culture and to have that great mix. My question to you guys is, do you feel it more? I was 5 in 86, but just holistically, is it better now than it was in 86 as a whole, as an organization?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah,
What?
It's better. It's nicer. It's a lot nicer bunch of people that these guys don't fight. These guys don't have a chip on their shoulder. No one's. I mean, it doesn't seem that way. You have a woman, the owner's wife, trying to make it into a family type of atmosphere. 86, it was, let's go out there. We're going to put on our big boy pants, and if you throw at us, we're going to throw at you, and if you swing at us, we're going to swing at you. And sometimes we're going to swing first. So it was an aggressive team with veterans that were not scared to have a brawl. Hernandez wasn't. Ray Knight wasn't. You had Kevin McReynolds, who was a beast. You have Strawberry, who didn't back down, even Gooden. You had guys that, it was the atmosphere, it was the time. It was the times. Let's just say that's how you played the game at those times. Nowadays, you don't have that. Look at Nemo. You want to talk about? I'm Puerto Rican. I would love Lindor to be the captain. For pride, and he's a great player and he's a good guy. But you listen to Nemo talk, guys. If you want a captain, there's your captain right there. There's a leader. There's a guy that's gonna stand up and be accountable and say the right things and act like
you just
like
wanted to trade him.
What are you talking about? I didn't want to trade him. You're the one that wanted to trade him. I'm just saying the guy's accountable, and you're bringing guys that are accountable. Soto's with us because of the culture. And he's not with us because we gave him the most money, because obviously you guys have seen the news. We were not giving him the most money. He came to us because of the culture, because what he believes the Mets organization is going to be, and acts like, and is. Lindor, Soto, Nimmo, Polar Bear, all these guys are quality guys. Winker came back, a guy that was despised by the New York Met fans. They hated him, and he came back and he loves the organization. You're bringing up guys like Baty. You're bringing up guys like even Alvarez, the good kid. You have a whole different culture, a whole different organization. You have an owner who will do whatever it takes to win. That makes you want to play for this team. That makes you want to play in New York with all the distractions and detractions that there are playing in New York. When you have a good organization like the Mets, it's a win-win.
You say no with the distraction and stuff. Just really quick, Jamar Chase from the Cincinnati Bengals signed a long-term deal with that team, and he says, Cincinnati keeps me grounded. There's nothing to distract me. The food isn't that great either. He was like, I could just focus on football. Whereas in 1986, as part of the documentary, Darryl Strawberry said they would look out in the crowd, see a girl, tell the bat boy, go bring him down underneath the clubhouse, take care of business. That was 86.
And then go back to the outfield, play the last
and
then
go back in the right field,
Not
and
a problem.
throw some guy out, gun at the plate. Darryl Strawberry. Keith, go ahead, producer Joe.
If I may answer your question, because Rodriguez didn't. Incidentally, he gave a great dissertation on, Nemo and Soto, but your actual question I will answer, which is in 86, we had no reason to think about ownership or the culture of the, ownership and team. It didn't Steve hit it on a tangent. That team was just go out with an attitude and kick everyone's ass, and honestly, we never thought about the culture and of the organization until it was so freaking bad with the Wilpons. That's when we realized, oh my God, this team rots from the head down. It was never going to improve when they were owners. That's how I feel about the Jets and Woody Johnson. And the culture now is a noticeable piece of the team. Like Steve said, that's why Soto signed with us. It's definitely a thing now. But to answer your question, we never even thought about that shit in '86. It was a non-factor. With the Wilpons, even the owners, then no. I was it still Payson? Oh, I don't Doubleday maybe in '86. So it was a non-factor.
Yep.
And those are my closing thoughts too. Thank you.
Wait a second. One of the tests here is that your closing remarks. We need to see if you still have it in you to put Rodriguez to sleep.
I just closing remarks for a full minute and a half, and he didn't even close his eyes once. I was watching him the whole time.
He's well rested, fresh off the IL.
I was watching him for a real. There it goes. Okay, now I'm losing him. All right, forget it.
Keith, what do you think about that? Yeah. All right.
No, so I think that it's and I know this has been said, but I'm the last one going, so unfortunately some things I feel are going to be repeated, but it is really kind of irrelevant. Times are so different between now and then, but I think if this team is going to win a championship, it still does have to have a little bit of that 86 flair. We have a little bit of that I don't give a F feeling where we are willing to throw down, we are willing to charge the mound. But in 86, that was the priority. I think now we have a different goal, we have a different thought, we have a different culture where we're more focused on winning, taking the higher road, and I am all for it. I love the attitude last year versus when was it, 2021, with the thumbs down to the fans. Yeah, that was that like rebellious nonsense. It was totally wrong. The way we played last year was we took our licks and we retaliated with our talent. Think about Pete. You know, think about Lindor fighting back with the Yankees. I'm not sure if that was last year or the year before.
No, still, I think that was his first. That was 2021.
2021. But still, that kind of attitude is what we need to carry forward. 86 Mets, man, they were thugs. And back then it was appropriate and I loved it. And teams were scared of us. They did not want to approach us in any way that would physically make us upset because they knew what would come. The only ones that had the balls to do that was like Eric Davis.
Yeah, the Reds. That was
players on different levels, right? But I think as an organization, we need to be so competitive that if it comes to that point, we will react. But our priority is to retaliate with our performance, not so much with a physical attack or charging the mound and things like that. And I think last year we really perfected that, right? Because there was a lot of games where we were challenged that the Mets could have charged the field, bullpens empty, and things of that nature. But what did happen instead is in those big moments, we performed on the field. And I would like to see going forward the Mets doing what we got to do if you challenge us physically, but focusing more on taking that energy and just hitting the crap out of the ball, striking the next MFer out or something to that nature. So there's a fine tuning, and I think that's the fine tuning, and I hope that we find it for this year and win a championship. Let's go Mets, baby.
Yeah, so I mean, last year was the never give up after a certain point, right? Towards the latter part of May, there was never any give up. We talked about this a lot in our group chat.
Never.
There was, 8th, 9th inning is when we did our damage in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So obviously a different feel to it, but this time around, it just feels like the momentum is building to really build that really solid organization, top to bottom, training staff, everything, making sure the technology is there in place and all that stuff.
And focus that kind of energy on winning on the field. Because listen, in 86, we were so super talented. We could intimidate the crap out of other teams, get players thrown out, but we had the bullpen, we had the starting pitching, we had the bench to make up for anybody who got thrown out of a game. We don't. Right. I don't think we necessarily have that right now, especially with our pitching. But if we focus that energy on the field, I think we can be very dangerous.
For sure. All right, that'll do it for us for this week. Let's do a little quick round robin. I want to hear even something from producer Joe. Keith, okay. Quick round robin here on the way out.
Looking forward to our opening day in Houston. Unfortunately, it's on the road, but I took the day off. I'm going to be home watching that game, and I cannot wait to see what this team provides to us. The excitement, the wins, and this crazy, unpredicted pitching rotation we have. Let's go, Mets.
That's going to give us the agita this year, especially Rodriguez. Rodriguez, what you got here on the way out?
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't give me that. No, I'm hoping that at least.
But you give yourself you force agita on yourself sometimes, even if pitcher's pitching well. You're like,
yeah. Yeah, I don't force it on myself. I just see what they make, what I believe are mistakes. And again, I'm not a pro, so what do I know? Who gives a crap ass what I think? But
we all do.
At the end of the day, the Mets season starts next week, dude. Clay Holmes is only the opening day starter because we're not starting at home. If we were starting at home, it would be Senga. Yep. So let's keep it real. And let's hope that we win. Let's beat up on the cheating Astros because they're still cheaters. They're always going to be cheaters, and that's why Beltran shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame with the cheater. So let's go, Mets. Producer Joe, give us the word, man. Nothing. See?
Nothing, huh?
Can always count on him. Oh, you forgot his promo. That's why he's upset. You didn't promo his special apparatus.
Oh,
Lighten up, Francis.
I tell you, I went to the game last Friday, and it was when Soto came up, everybody crowded on the railings like 3-4 deep to watch, and it was, and he hit one out, and the electricity was just fantastic. It was exciting, the people were buzzing, and it was just, before he even hit it. So it's fun. It's going to be a fun year. There's a lot of excitement, and, let's go Mets.
All right. So next week, we have our prediction show. We'll talk through player predictions. We'll talk through MLB predictions. And then we get ready. It's opening day next week. We'll talk about that first Houston series, the Marlins series that comes up right after that. We'll get our predictions going. 2 out of 3. We'll get back in the group, baby. Baseball season 7 days away. Screw that little stupid Japan opening.
Are we doing this show before?
We doing a show next week? We got prediction shows next week. Next
We're
week, baby.
Doing a prediction show?
Yeah. Can you start working on that now?
So yeah, I can.
Next week.
For the record, Farace sent it out to all of us last night, so he's talking a lot of caca right now.
But last week I said we're gonna do a prediction show. Be ready. All right, that does it for us today. One more week of spring training before it start heading. Actually, we head west. We don't head north. So we'll head west to Houston to play them, douchebags, and then Miami, and we'll talk about all that next week. But until then, we'll keep you updated on everything that's going on in Metsville, in the Facebook group, and Twitter, and all that good stuff. Until next week, peace out, everybody. Let's go, Mets.
Deuces.
Pull up the bullets.